When I saw that viral onion sheet trend making its rounds, I knew I had to get in the kitchen. After all, before keto, onion rings were one of my favorite appetizers, and if you haven't seen my mini dash onion ring, you're missing out. But let's get started with this recipe. Now, a mandolin is not necessary for this recipe, but is highly recommended. I'll also be experimenting with a standard grater and testing 3 different cheeses, starting with mozzarella, then a provolone mozzarella blend, which works perfectly in my breads, and last keto pizza. Last we'll be using Parmesan, which I think is what they normally use for this recipe. Now with the mandolin, I'm using the one setting worked perfectly. Look at these razor thin onion slices. Now I'm using my rind flour for this recipe, but you can use pork panko. And all 3 test recipes will use 1/4 cup, followed by a 1/4 cup mozzarella cheese. And I'll also keep the measurements for cheese the same for all 3 tests. Now, give the 2 ingredients a couple quick pulses, just enough to give it a quick chop and a good mix. And as you see here, I have removed the turntable insert from the microwave. This allows you to place it back in the microwave without disturbing your cracker to be. Now what you're going to want to place is 1 teaspoon of mixture and then kind of flatten it out. And if you happen to be a cheese lover like I am, you can add a little extra cheese before the next step, and that will be adding your finely sliced onion. Now place another teaspoon of mixture over the onion and gently pat it down so that you get a good even consistency. Place it in the microwave, cooking it in 30-second increments until it's golden brown like this. Now the crisp. They're nice and crispy. See if they got a crunch. This first one has an amazing crisp and great flavor. Now, to that provolone mozzarella blend, we're going to need, again, 1/4 cup rind flour or pork panko, followed by 1/4 cup mozzarella provolone blend. Also, make sure they're all packed 1/4 cups. Pulse it in your food processor a couple times, and then repeat the steps we did in the previous recipe. Go ahead and get them leveled back out, move them over if you need to, and place them in the microwave. And like before, cooking them in 30-second increments until golden brown. Do they stand up to the last crisp? Nope. These are not near as crispy. And next, the Parmesan, but don't leave after this one, because then we're going to see what the grated onions do. And again, we'll be using a 50-50 ratio for our pork rinds and cheese mixture. Repeating the teaspoon mixture, onions, then another teaspoon of the mixture. Placing it in a microwave for 30-second increments until golden brown. And how did these hold up? Best crisp, but the Parmesan overpowers the onion. So while this is the crispiest, it's too overpowering to me. Now for the last test. And this one is probably the simplest way, just grating up your onion. But the real question is, will it turn out crispy? Now I'll spare you a 4th time of the same instructions of the last 3 recipes. But I do need to show you what happened when microwaving. Look at the split right here. This is because of the moisture content. And if you decide to make this recipe, you probably ought to keep it more of a mound than flattening it down. These, as you can see, are extremely fragile. These are like an onion ring in the microwave. The other ones are like a chip. So no matter which one you choose, I hope you enjoyed this video. Guys, thanks so much for watching, and as always, I will see you in the next video.